recording. Just yeah, aim and shoot and make sure it's the reason.
Do you want to sit next to him? Or Dennis, do you want to just move up there so you're both together?
Oh, sure. You
He'll move in the corner.
That's cool. Okay, I'm Mike Reynolds. I'm with uppitydisability.net, and I probably have something in my...
No, you're fine.
No, I'm fine. And I'm interviewing presidential candidate for 2008, Dennis Kucinich. I first met Dennis Kucinich in 2003 in Portland at the rally at the post office in Middle Naturals. Your involvement in 2008, do you think, obviously, you know, the pundits are always saying Hillary's going to win or Obama's going to win. Do you think that the 08 race is going to be more about a referendum on how America's been treated in America, how America has treated the rest of the world in terms of foreign policy in the last 6 years?
Well, I think the election is going to be about which individual has the understanding of how to create peace. Which individual wants America to be able to aspire to the highest standards? Which individual wants to clean up the global climate? Which individual truly is ready to bring health care for all? Which individual is ready for jobs for all? I mean, on each and every count, I have established a distinct position from all the other candidates, and that's why I think I will be the next president.
Okay. Do you think that your position of being in the race is going to like cement a liberal or leftist plank in the DNC, so that when we do go out in LA, and if you're not the nominated, I certainly hope you are. But if you're not, at least it's going to be much more liberal than it was in 2004 when people were wishy-washy over whether they supported the war or not. And do you think that like your presence in the campaign is going to cement a liberal perspective in terms of disability rights and gay rights and, you know, socialized medicine and, you know, bringing the troops home?
If people want a different country, they have to not just send a message, but send a messenger.
Right.
And my presidency will be about a messenger for peace, a messenger for health care for all, a messenger for jobs for all, a messenger for fair trade, a messenger for cleaning up the environment, a messenger for reconnecting with the world. So, you know, that really is is about healing America, and that's what I'm about.
Now, I'm sorry, give me a second. We just got back from a rally. Am I right in saying that you're part of the pro-life caucus right now, or you were in 2004? Is that correct?
I think that it's important for us to do everything we can to give life a chance for full expression, and that's why I support prenatal care, postnatal care, child care, universal health care, a living wage. But I also think that supporting a woman's right to choose is entirely compatible with it, because if you support all these social systems, women will have an opportunity to make choices that are affirmative. But I think that we're at a point in human history where we have to make sure that women have full rights, and we can't simply insist that someone else's religion, someone else's philosophy has to guide an individual woman's choice. A woman has to choose for herself, and hopefully we can create a climate which is going to be supportive of life.
What's your recent reaction to, well, I wanted your reactions on two things. The Terry Shiloh
Government had no business to intervene in what was essentially a decision by the family and the doctor. I think that medical science has shown that it really was a very cruel and cynical thing for government to manipulate the situation. It was aimed, unfortunately, for political purposes, not for the interest of Terri Schiavo or her family.
What about the recent Supreme Court decision on partial birth abortions, or so-called partial birth abortions?
Well, here again, if a woman's in a medical situation where where her life has to be protected, I mean, that's something that has to be regarded. And the truth of the matter is, the Supreme Court chipped away at Roe v. Wade in a manner that I think is destructive of individual liberties. You know, we certainly want to see life supported. And again, the way I believe that should be done is to have a country that fully supports prenatal care, postnatal care, child care, a living wage, universal health care, all those things that help support life. And you know what's interesting about all this is that in the period of 6 years, when the Bush administration had total control over the Supreme Court, over the executive branch, and over both houses of the Congress, they never once put a bill forward that said they were going to ban abortion. So think about it. So what have they been doing all these years? They've been playing the politics of division. I think America needs a healing hand. And I think a healing hand doesn't pit people against each other in this very emotional issue, but it recognizes the heart of people who say that they don't like abortions. And I don't like abortions.
I don't like abortions either.
I don't know anyone out there who's really...
I'm gay, I'm a male, I'm gay, and I should have no say whatsoever, because I am a male, B, I'm gay. I'm never going to have to deal with it.
But we need to be sensitive to the concerns that people have about abortion.
Yes.
At the same time, we need to balance that with the fact that, you know, women are individuals apart from the philosophy and psychology that other people have, and that they should be able to make their own decisions. That's it.
Are you going to come up with a disability policy paper for your 08 run?
Well,
regarding, you know, independent living.
I've been a strong supporter of the Individuals with Disabilities Act. I feel that there has to be parity in education, and I feel that all of the questions of access have to be resolved. I have a universal, single-payer, not-for-profit health care plan, which will see that people with disabilities will have the full range of care, whether short-term or long-term care, that they need without having to worry about premiums, co-pays, or deductibles,
right,
and without having to worry about cuts in Medicare or Medicaid.
Right.
So, you know, this is something that, to me, health care is a basic right. People who are differently abled should have the chance to integrate fully into society, and they shouldn't be turned aside for any reason whatsoever.
Now, would you support national legislation of, you know, diverting nursing home funds to personal attendant services within the community?
I think that makes sense.
Would you, as your role as a congressman, would you sign on to the acts that are already in Congress that are being introduced?
Well, again, the answer is I'm supportive of all manner of legislation that can be of assistance to people who are differently able. I want to say this, that it isn't that we have to divert funds. I want to go back to the previous question. It isn't that we have to divert funds. It's that we have to make more funds available for health care for all people, including people who have disability.
Right, but if the funding streams that Medicaid already have are such that they can only be used in a nursing home situation, since Medicaid is relegated to the states, and some states, certainly Alabama would be the one that springs to my mind, where Alabama says that a person who needs full personal care must be, and is over the age of 21, must be in a nursing home. When, you know, those laws were written in the 60s.
Yeah,
when,
well, obviously they need to be changed.
Right. So, you know, would you support a federal mandate so that, you know, people who have MS or severe neuromuscular disorders or post-polio syndrome would be able to have the access to live in the community?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I just want to say that I'm really appreciative of having this chance to talk with you. I want to see an America that provides opportunities for everyone. We certainly have the wealth to do it. We have to have the intention to do it. And I have the intention to do it, and I want to see the wealth applied to make sure that every person...
Now, would you support changes in Medicare so that people with disabilities could go back to work and not lose that safety net?
Yes, absolutely. We want to give people a chance to be able to support themselves and not discourage them from being fully integrated into the society. See, here's the thing. The threshold for income needs to be raised much higher.
Yes.
And see, that's where you start. You don't tell people, well, they shouldn't do any work, because what you're doing is you're, in a sense, telling people, don't do anything at all, and then you can't then develop
Right.
as a person. That's not fair.
In my situation, I was able to go to college and graduate with a very good degree. My disability degenerates over age, so it's more age versus a disability itself. So right now I can't work full time, but I certainly bring, a wealth of information from knowledge and advocacy and policy matters, and certainly disability policy, health policy, insurance policies. But I can't make more than $800, or else I lose all of my, the SSDI that I rightfully own in the Medicaid and the Medicare that I need to support my, my condition, which was no fault of my own, So, I've had my condition from birth. So,
well, I will tell you this, that I agree that we need to raise the thresholds of income so that people can have a chance to be able to participate in work that they love and be able to do what it is they like to do. I want to say this, and that is that your ability as an interviewer is as good as anyone's. That you have asked questions that have been smart and well informed and have depth. Okay.
Why do I research? I don't just look at Wikipedia. I look at LexNet.
But you know what, though? Let me just tell you something. That quality that you have puts you on par with anybody. I just want you to know that. Okay. And I thank you. We're going to have to go right now, but I want to thank you for demonstrating the point, and that is that you might be differently able, but you know what? You're as good as anyone.
I'm pretty sure.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
So do you want to do that?